Hello everyone, welcome to this course and thank you for opting in. This is a short, on-point course without any fluff. In this training, you'll learn a step-by-step roadmap to break into the cybersecurity industry in less than 6 months without a university degree or getting multiple IT certifications. You might be wondering, is this even possible? Can I really get into cybersecurity without a degree or getting multiple IT certifications? Maybe you're even skeptical, thinking this sounds too good to be true. That's completely understandable. So let me share my journey and show you how I made it happen. Then you can decide for yourself if it's legitimate or a scam. Originally, I was a musician back in Iran, in my home country. I played electric guitar in rock bands, but as you might guess, the income wasn't great. Most musicians I knew were struggling financially. I realized I needed a more stable career path. One day, I met an IT manager, a confident, well dressed professional who radiated success. During a 30-minute coffee chat, he became my mentor and he told me exactly how to start an IT career, even without a degree or multiple certifications. That short conversation changed my life. Following his advice, I landed my first job as an IT helpdesk technician where I worked for 2 years before moving into a network engineer position. However, I started to feel stuck, working long hours, solving the same issues, and not seeing a clear path to higher pay. If you have ever felt like there's no upward trajectory in your IT career, trust me, I've been there. That's when I discovered cybersecurity. I noticed the cybersecurity team at my company had higher salaries, remote work opportunities, a deeper sense of challenge and expertise. I wanted to be like them actually. So I found another mentor, learned the necessary skills and tools, and eventually became a security engineer at the same company that I was working for. In 2019, I decided to take a new leap. The economy and political climate in my country weren't that great, and my wife and I wanted a fresh start. Fortunately, the Australian government offered me a visa to work in cybersecurity for government agencies. We packed our suitcases and moved to Australia. Here in Australia, I've worked as a senior security engineer and a cyber consultant, including roles at CyberXcel and various government agencies, including Brisbane City Council, Transport for New South Wales, and etc. Eventually, I started my own consulting company, CyberXcel, managing projects as a contractor for both government and private clients. About 2 years ago, I noticed a massive talent gap in cybersecurity. Meanwhile, many training academies were pushing degrees or useless certifications that didn't focus on hands-on practical skills. That's why I launched CyberXcel Training Academy, where I've helped dozens of IT professionals just like yourself transition into cybersecurity in under 6 months, all without multiple certifications or degrees. And you might be asking yourself, what's the secret? The secret is focusing on real tools, real skills, and market needs. This course is a roadmap that shows you exactly how to get into cybersecurity on your own. We won't dive deep into each technical tool here. Instead, you'll get a high-level overview of what you need to do. By the end, you'll have a clear blueprint for moving into cybersecurity, just like hundreds of my students. Now, if you prefer a personalized guidance, hands-on coaching, or an internship experience, and you need help with your resume, job interviews, and job application strategies, you can apply to work with us via the link below. We'll check your application to see if you're a good fit, and then we can discuss the best next steps for you. But first, let's dive into the course. In this course, we're going to cover how to identify your target role in cybersecurity. We're going to talk about why you don't actually need certifications or a university degree. And if you want to get any of them, which one to choose. Then we're going to talk about the foundation of cybersecurity and IT. Then we're going to move on to which tools and skills to learn so you can demonstrate real world capability. And after that, we're going to talk about how to get more interviews and how to stand out in the competition. Then we're going to talk about resources, books, and study guides to help you ace interviews easily. After that, we're going to talk about common mistakes that lead to failure and how to avoid them. And finally, there's this bonus module where we're going to take a sneak peek at hands-on training. So make sure to watch each module in full. There are quizzes and action steps that you need to take as well. After finishing the whole course, you'll know exactly how to pursue a cybersecurity career. Remember, no matter how skilled you are, it won't matter if you're not getting interviews or job offers. So make sure to pay attention to the lessons on job hunting as well. I'll see you in the next module. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this module, you might be asking yourself, how can I get into cybersecurity? Or what does identifying your target role even mean? Some people imagine cybersecurity as a person in a dark room wearing a hoodie, hacking away like in the movies. In reality, that's just a tiny part of cybersecurity. Okay? Yes, there are scenarios where we mimic how hackers operate, but day-to-day cybersecurity work involves meetings, stakeholder management, reports, and executive summaries. It's not all about sitting in the dark and hacking away, right? Think of building your cybersecurity career like constructing a house. First, you start with a blueprint or plan. Then, you lay the foundation and the walls, all right? Finally, you add the finishing touches like kitchen cabinets and painting on the walls and things like that. Cybersecurity is the same. You need a goal, a step-by-step plan, and milestones to reach your dream role in cybersecurity. You shouldn't be vague. I want to get into cybersecurity. That's not going to work. It's just a wishy-washy dream. You need to have a solid plan with milestones, deadlines, so you actually implement and take action against that plan. Now, to tell you this, cybersecurity isn't just one job. It has multiple domains. We have red team, offensive security, pen testing, bug bounties. We have blue team, defenders, SOC analysts, incident response, threat hunting. We have GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. If you want to talk about GRC, you have to think them like the mayors making laws and rules in the city, okay, in your castle. We have engineering, which is network security, cloud security, endpoint security, automation, and all those kind of cool stuff. We have purple team. Purple team is a mix of red team and blue team strategies. On top of that, we have other things as well, like user awareness training, cryptography, privacy, legal, physical security, and more. For example, red team involves offensive security professionals who test systems by thinking like a hacker. In the blue team, we have defenders in the first line of security, like firefighters or soldiers, focused on incident response and protection. On the GRC side of things, we have governance and compliance experts who handle audit, risk assessments, and policy making. These are the people who are writing the rules. GRC is really important, guys, because without GRC, we don't have a roadmap in cybersecurity. They come in, they give us a roadmap, and the engineers, red teamers, blue teamers, and everyone else in the company have to follow that framework, follow that roadmap that GRC is providing to us. Now, we have engineering, my personal bread and butter. Everything I've done in my career has been around engineering stuff. It involves networking, network security, cloud security, and endpoint security design and deployment. Like, I'm there to design system, maintain system, and deploy security tools and platforms. That's what engineering is all about. Now, if you're an IT professional, let's say a network engineer, sysadmin, or cloud support engineer, you have two main choices when transitioning. First, pick a role closely related to what you already do. What do I mean by that? If you're a network engineer, let's say, you could specialize in network security. That's how I made my switch, actually. I learned network security and built from there because it was closely related to what I was doing before that. I used to be a network engineer, all right? And I found something in cybersecurity that was really close to what was I doing at that time, which was network security. You have second choice as well. The second choice is you can choose a completely different path if you don't like your current IT role. Let's say you're a network engineer right now, you hate networking. You don't necessarily need to become a network security engineer. You have other choices as well. Or let's say if you're a software developer but you hate it, you might explore application security, or you can completely pivot into blue team role or GRC roles. Regardless of all the things that I've talked about, you need to test different areas to see what you enjoy. You need to study the job descriptions to learn the tools and the skills required. And honestly, guys, it's really simple. Let's say you find your passion, you find your target role in cyber. All you have to do is just go and read the job descriptions and create a list of all the tools and skills required for that position. Now you need to reverse engineer your way into that role. You need to gain hands-on experience with projects and learn practically around those tools and systems that the company is requiring. You need to do lab projects, paid boot camps maybe, or free courses on YouTube. Then after that, you just need to have a solid resume and CV and apply to jobs. That's it. If you have the relevant skills to showcase, you have nothing to worry about. Now, again, if you're unsure where to start, I would suggest you go with blue team roles like SOC analyst or incident responder, because they're often the most approachable. They don't require as deep a learning curve as some red team positions. Many entry-level openings exist for blue team roles, especially in the US, Canada, and Australia. Employers often hire IT professionals transitioning into cybersecurity for these positions. That is how many of my academy students have landed jobs in under 6 months, focusing on blue team role. There are plenty of resources and training programs to help you gain the practical, hands-on skills employers need. So the action steps that you can take away from this module is identify your target role, study the job descriptions, and once you do that, you will have a list of skills, tools, and processes these companies are looking for actually. Then all you have to do is just reverse engineer your way into that role. You need to gain hands-on experience around those things, those requirements, put it on all your resume and LinkedIn profile, apply and get interviews and get the job. Simple. Now, if you're an IT pro filling stock, remember, there is a cybersecurity role for everyone. I personally made this transition without a degree, and guys, English is not even my first language. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Now, in the next module, we're going to talk about why you don't need certifications or a university degree to become successful in cybersecurity. See you in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. You might be reading the title of this module, why you don't need certifications or a university degree, and wondering, is this guy serious? Give me a few minutes, and if by the end you still believe you need a degree or stacks of certifications, then go for it. But let me explain why that's no longer necessary. If you have ever asked a friend or a family member in cybersecurity, how do I get started? They might hand you a list of certifications like CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, CompTIA CyberXcel Plus, all the plus that you can think of. There's a reason they do this, and it's not wrong actually. They just don't have the time to walk you through every detail of what to learn. Certifications are an easy way to give you structured milestones in your learning journey. Certifications act as a roadmap to guide your studies. For instance, CompTIA A+ covers basic hardware and computer fundamentals, which can be helpful if you have zero IT background, but many people mistakenly assume that simply passing these exams and listing them on their CV will guarantee them a job. That's the old way of thinking. These days, practical experience is what stands out. Here's the thing. Many certification exams rely on theory and memorization. You can cram, pass the test, and forget everything 2 weeks later. This is especially true for IT professionals who already know the fundamentals, like printers, cabling, or basic networking, which are covered in A+ or Network Plus. You don't need to relearn them for cybersecurity if you have already mastered them on the job. A similar logic applies to university degrees as well. They focus heavily on theory, often with outdated material that doesn't keep up with real-world cybersecurity demands. While a degree might teach you research skills and build your professional network, The actual hands-on knowledge you need for cybersecurity is rarely taught in full detail. Personally, I have a degree from my home country that almost no one here recognizes or cares about. Did it stop me? Absolutely not. Companies only care about whether you can solve their problems as quickly as possible. Your ability to implement real solutions carries far more weight than any credentials. Today's employers want people who can jump in and demonstrate the skills they claim to have. When you go for the interview, they're not going to ask questions, hey, do you have this certification? Do you have that certification? No, that's not the case. They're going to ask you questions around real world stuff. Tell me about the time when you had to deal with an incident. They're going to ask you these type of questions. They know certifications can be cheated or memorized. That's why so many businesses value hands-on experience more than certifications or degrees. Some companies want certifications because it helps them with maintaining partnership with third-party vendors. That's it. Let's say if the company is partnered with Microsoft, there's a rule within Microsoft organization that says, hey, if a company has 10 certified people, we're going to give this company a discount for our products. And that's why some of the companies prepare people with certifications. But again, you can always get them when you land a job. All right? Certifications like CompTIA, they don't add any value. They're not even considered for partnership. So that's why I say if you want to get certified, you want to get certifications that actually matter. All right? Now, if you check out the success stories from my academy, you'll see that almost none of those students piled up multiple certifications. Instead, they focused on learning real tools, working on practical projects, and showcasing their expertise directly. Now, the roadmap for transitioning into cybersecurity isn't about collecting certificates or spending 4 years in university. It's about, first, identifying your target role. Which domain suits your skills? Blue team, red team, or GRC? Analyzing job descriptions. Which tools, frameworks, or methodologies do employers expect from you? Acquiring those skills. Go hands-on, set up labs, do free or paid boot camps to learn those skills that are mentioned in the job descriptions. And finally, applying and demonstrating value. It doesn't matter how much skilled you are, if you cannot talk and transfer your value to the person on the other side of the desk during your job interview, it doesn't matter. You need to show employers that you can solve the problems they have right now. Certification and degrees can help you learn the fundamentals, but they're not mandatory. Many people waste 1 or 2 years chasing credentials and end up forgetting most of what they learned because it was never applied in a real world context. Now that you understand why you don't necessarily need a degree or multiple certifications, you might wonder, what do I need then? What should I do? That's totally understandable. Well, there are foundational skills in both IT and cybersecurity that you have to master. In the next module, we'll explore those foundations so you can build on them and head straight for your target role. See you in the next module. Do you remember when I compared building a cybersecurity career to building a house? You need a blueprint, step-by-step plan, and a solid foundation. If your foundation is weak, even a minor earthquake can make the whole thing collapse. It's the same with cybersecurity and IT in general. You need a strong grounding in the basics before you move on to advanced topics. Think of it like learning a new language. You start with grammar and vocabulary. In cybersecurity, you begin with IT and security fundamentals. The foundational knowledge you need will vary depending on your target role. For example, let's say if you want to become an application security engineer. Application security engineering requires programming language because you're securing applications, you're securing things that are related to programming languages. Or let's say GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. This role in cybersecurity doesn't require a deep technical knowledge, right? Like networking, operating systems, or things like that. It's not really technical. So let's say if you want to become a GRC analyst, you don't necessarily need technical background. I hope that makes sense. So it's really important to identify your target role first. Once you know where you're headed, you can reverse engineer the skills you need. In this module, I'll focus on blue team and engineering roles, technical roles, because that's where I was in cybersecurity myself, and that's where most of the people like to be in when they're starting their career. And also, that's where most of the jobs are available right now in places like the US, UK, and Australia. GRC is also very in demand right now, so you can choose both of them or one of them, doesn't matter. In this training module, we're going to talk about the technical stuff. I hope that makes sense. Now, if you want to go into red team, blue team, or engineering, technical side of cybersecurity, these are the must-have fundamentals. First one is networking. Let's say TCP/IP, how data moves across networks. Basics of routing, NAT, static routing. IP addresses. What are the differences between public and, let's say, versus private IP addresses, Ethernet frames, and other basics around networking? Second thing is operating systems, Linux and the Windows operating system. With Linux, you need to learn the basic commands like moving between folders, copying and modifying files, and things like that. When it comes to Windows, you need to have a general familiarity for workplace environments. You need to know how to run command lines, where to locate a folder, where to modify files, registry, things like that. And at the end, the basics of cybersecurity itself. You need to learn the language and grammar of cybersecurity. And you have to learn the basics. Let's say things like threats, what is vulnerability, different type of attacks, and things like that. Basic defenses, and security methodologies. One of the quickest ways to learn security fundamentals is via the CompTIA Security Plus curriculum. You see, I'm saying curriculum, content. I'm not talking about passing the exam certification. You just need to use this certification program as a content outline. You don't need to pass the exam. Just go through the content, all right? Many free and paid resources are available like Udemy and YouTube that covers this material thoroughly. I'll attach my recommended Udemy courses links in this module. Make sure to check them out. So, to recap, to summarize, the first thing that you need to do, you need to identify your target role. Is it a technical role like a blue team analyst, security engineer, or other things? Second, you need to list out all the skills needed for that role by studying job descriptions. And third, master foundational knowledge first. Networking, operating system basics, security fundamentals. You need to master these things before diving into advanced tools and techniques. And finally, hands-on training. You need to focus on hands-on real-world experience after you do the basic stuff. And I will cover how to get them in the next modules. So make sure to check them out as well. A solid foundation is critical, guys. You can't defend something you don't understand. So make sure you dedicate enough time to master the basics. It will pay off when you start working with most advanced cybersecurity tools and techniques. In the next module, we're going to explore hands-on experience, what tools to learn, and how to get real-world practice. Remember, a strong foundation ensures you'll excel once you start diving into more advanced cybersecurity tasks. See you in the next module. Hands-on experience, guys, is the most important part of becoming a cybersecurity professional, especially for blue team roles. You need to forget about Udemy courses or certifications if you're not going to apply what you learn in the real world. When companies hire, they want people with practical knowledge, not just theoretical knowledge. But you might be asking yourself, how can I gain experience if no one will give me a chance? Don't worry about it. I'm going to explain in details how to do it. There are several ways to build real world experience on your own. If you're aiming for roles like security analyst, SOC analyst, or incident responder, you'll see these tools in job descriptions all the time. SIEM platforms like Splunk, Microsoft Sentinel, and Rapid7. EDR platforms like CrowdStrike or Microsoft Defender. Vulnerability management tools like Tenable.io or Rapid7 Inside VM. Even if you can't access the exact tools at the workplace yet, you can practice with free or trial versions. The same tools were available. You can use alternative open source tools that do the same concept, do the same thing, but it's for free. And at the end, you can set up your own mini labs on your home PC or a virtual machine, or even in the cloud in Azure or AWS. You can build the whole infrastructure there in your cloud environment if you like. There are other ways to gain experience as well. You can do volunteering, or you can offer free services. You can approach non-profit groups, churches, schools, local charities, and offer basic security assessments. This lets you apply your skills, build your CV, and collect references, all while helping an organization that needs it. The second way is you can enroll in boot camps or coaching programs. Enroll in reputable cybersecurity boot camps, free or even paid, that provide hands-on labs and real-world scenarios. If you prefer a guided approach, consider joining a program like ours. I'm trying to advertise our own training academy here that provides mentorship and internship style experience. We can do that for you. There are online lab platforms as well. One of them is TryHackMe, which is very famous, that offers both red team and blue team labs. Some of them are free and some of them are paid. Blue Team Labs Online or Cyber Defenders, these are the name of these companies. They are specifically tailored to defensive roles, incident response, log analysis, threat hunting, etc. There is another company called Immersive Labs. These are great for scenario-based training in various cyber disciplines. And finally, you can build your own personal lab. Okay? Build a home lab with virtual machines to simulate attacks and defenses. Then you need to document your projects on GitHub and LinkedIn or on a personal blog that shows employers you can do the work. There are some additional resources out there as well. Microsoft Sentinel has a free tier you can experiment with, especially if you have Azure credits. Splunk also offers a free developer license with limited daily data ingestion. That's more than enough to practice how to operate a Splunk. CrowdStrike, it's really harder to get direct free access, but there are EDR simulations you can explore on TryHackMe or other platforms. Nessus Essential, actually, it has a free version that allows you to scan up to 16 IPs. You can install Nessus inside your home and use that tool to run vulnerability scanning every day, every hours. That's a great way to learn vulnerability assessments, how to write a report, and do risk assessment as well. Now, if you want a step-by-step approach, plus mentorship, labs, and a clear roadmap to land a cybersecurity job in under 6 months, you can work with us. We will help you on that. We'll give you hands-on training with actual tools, all these tools that I mentioned, fully licensed, available for you. We will provide you direct mentorship from cybersecurity experts who are actually working in the field right now. We will help you with your resume, your LinkedIn optimization. We will do mock interviews together and so many other things. You can click the link below. If you're interested, fill out the application form and we will see if we are the right fit for you. Otherwise, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. Feel free to explore the free platforms I mentioned. TryHackMe, Cyber Defenders, Blue Team Labs Online, Hack the Box, Immersive Labs. I'll also include a mini tutorial on PCAP analysis using Wireshark, the kind of log analytics often required in Blue Team roles. Be sure to check the attached checklist for homework, detailing the essential tools and practice labs you should complete. Hands-on experience is king, guys. Don't just learn in theory. Apply it and document your progress. I'll see you in the next video. Now we're going to talk about getting interviews and actually landing a cybersecurity job. One common complaint I see on Reddit or LinkedIn is the job market is competitive. Well, yes, it is competitive. Do you think you were the only person looking to get into cybersecurity industry? The thing is, companies aren't rolling out red carpets for every aspiring candidate. Just like building a house, transitioning into cybersecurity requires resources, a blueprint, a foundation, and a solid plan. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Not everyone deserves to be in cybersecurity, and that's precisely why the process can be challenging. You might already have the skills and knowledge, but if you don't market yourself effectively, nobody will notice. This is the second phase of getting into cybersecurity. Learning how to sell your strengths and differentiate yourself from other applicants. Companies often receive hundreds of applications for a single role, so your profile needs to stand out among them. You have to be unique. You're competing with experienced people, with other IT professionals. It's going to be hard, and that's okay. You need to accept that. Like I said, if it were easy, everyone else would be doing it, right? Now, there are two approaches when it comes to job hunting phase, like getting interviews and getting the job offer. The first one is traditional resume submission, and the second one is a LinkedIn strategy. When it comes to traditional resume submission, you're applying to jobs via these websites like Indeed, Seek, or LinkedIn job postings. It's really effective, but you're competing directly with many applicants. You need to prepare for rejections, and it's all about numbers game. And something to add here, so many of these jobs that you see on these websites, they are fake. Companies just post these websites to show everyone that they're hiring, they're growing in their business, things like that. Some of these jobs are even already filled with internal applicants. They're just there, fake job postings. And the second way is, like I said, LinkedIn part. LinkedIn is huge for cybersecurity hiring. Many of our students at our academy, they found their jobs only through LinkedIn. And for that, you need to have an optimized LinkedIn profile that attracts recruiters and hiring managers. And also you have to do networking. You have to do outreach. You need to talk to people, recruiters and hiring managers. This allows you to bypass the traditional way of finding jobs. You're directly talking to people. Some companies, they have hidden job markets. Like they have hidden jobs that are not advertised even. So if your network is big on LinkedIn, you can take advantage of that as well. Hiring managers typically spend seconds skimming resumes. You need to grab their attention quickly. So as you can see in front of you, we have this resume here. As you can see at the top, we have the name and position title. The position title should be matching the role you're targeting, you're applying for. And you need to tailor each resume to that specific job description that you're applying for. You shouldn't send generic CV to all the other roles. We have the skills section and also the certification and training and your work experience along with projects and achievements that you have. You need to showcase projects or boot camps you completed. Talk about results and impact. Use relevant cybersecurity keywords that match the job listing. If they're looking for someone with Splunk experience, you need to have it there. You see these keywords, everything is mentioned there on your resume. And you need to, again, customize for every application. Recruiters often do a simple keyword match between your resume and the job description. So if you mention specific tools or frameworks they're looking for, you will stand out. Now, if you need help crafting your resume, you need to consider investing in yourself. Ask for professional help. There are people out there that write professional resume for the job that you're applying for, specialized in tech actually. Or if you need help with the whole thing A to Z, your mentorship, your training, hands-on experience, and help with job hunting phase and internship, you can apply to work with us using the link below. Also, on top of that, I've included this resume template as well in the resources section. You can use that as well and tailor it based on your needs. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is more than just an online resume. It's a networking platform. Again, you need to have that right headline targeting your specific role in cybersecurity, and the about section should include all the keywords. All right. When it comes to your connections, you should have more than 500 connections, plus 500. You need to add tech recruiters, cybersecurity managers, and professionals at companies where you want to work. You need to engage with them. You need to comment on their posts. You need to post your own content, share insights, and message new connections to build that rapport with them. When you're doing a training or something, you need to post short write-ups of lab projects, case studies, or cybersecurity news commentary. People remember active profiles that provide valuable information. Remember, if you don't advertise yourself, no one knows you exist. You must increase volume. You need to apply to 50 or 100 jobs weekly if available. And you need to consistently reach out to people on LinkedIn and engage meaningful conversations with them. Yes, it's competitive, guys. A single job might get 100 applications, and maybe only 10 or 20 people will be shortlisted. From those, only one gets the final offer. So the odds might be against you, but you have to keep fighting. The more you refine your resume, LinkedIn, and personal brand, the more interviews you'll land. Like I said, if it were easy, everyone else would be doing it. And if you quit, it's guaranteed that you'll lose. Oftentimes, I tell my students, this stage is the toughest part of your cybersecurity journey. Learning the tools, learning the experience, gaining the experience, and all that sort of stuff, it's just the easy part. This is where things get really tough and people lose focus and they quit. But remember that you have to keep fighting. Once you start getting interviews, the real work begins after that. You'll be up against the other shortlisted candidates. And in the next video, in the next module, we're going to talk about interview preparation, how to ace technical questions, demonstrate your soft skills, and win the role. I hope this session was informative. See you in the next module.